Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Yes, you're my best friend. Welcome, all my friends.
Who's your best friend?
You are, Philip.
Okay.
And Philip and everyone listening, welcome to Couch Pilots. It's a show. We do a podcast, and we dare to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is the Black Cabinet, and across from me is Philip Restisher. How are you, Philip?
I'm doing wonderful, Captain Black.
Please call me the Black Cabinet.
I don't like cabinet. Black Captain. You got to stick with the theme of the whole thing.
Do you say cabinet or cabinet?
Cabinet.
Cabinet.
But I also say Prenzel.
Instead of like Auntie Anne's Prenzel?
It's Prenzel. Prenzel. There's an N in it.
You're talking about the doughy thing that's all curly Q's and big pieces of salt on it. Say it again?
Prenzel.
No, that's not right. Who says it like that?
Nobody, obviously, because my wife hates it as well.
There's an N in the word Prenzel?
In my world, there is.
Say Washington.
Washington.
No. Nope. Say the word creek.
Creek.
Okay.
In the cave.
Some people say crick.
I have heard crick, yeah.
You get a crick in your neck.
No, you go down to the crick.
With your Prenzel? Well, what do you dip your Prenzel in? Whoops.
Marinara.
Nice thick layer of marinara.
Marinara.
Good on you. Well, welcome to this flight. I'm really excited. We did all our pre-flight stretches. I'm feeling extremely limber.
Yeah, I've had an issue lately with my eyes.
You didn't stretch your eyes properly?
No. I think I'm getting weld burn on my eyes. So, because I've been doing a lot of work on the plane.
Yeah. You use the welding machine, right? The welding robot?
Yeah, the welding robot.
Beep, boop, boop, beep.
I was fixing the tire the other day.
With the welding robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, I did my stretches. I do stretches twice a day outside of here.
What is that called when your eyes hurt from welding? Is there a name for that? Like flash burn? Or
it's flash burn.
Like retinal scan?
Yeah, it's supposedly when you get that burn, flash burn, it's like your eyelids are like sandpaper on your eyes.
Oh, jeez.
This guy told me that he's like, you don't need to go to the doctor's office or you don't need to go to the hospital. He goes, you take a raw potato.
Here we go.
And you cut it into slices. And you put those slices on your eyes with your eyes closed, and you put those on your eyes. He goes, you lay in your recliner for a couple hours, you're good to go.
That and so many more natural cures from Kevin Trudeau's Natural Cures they don't want you to know about.
I'm excited about this flight.
Have you done that yet?
What?
Have you put potatoes on your eyeballs?
No, I'm not going to do something stupid like that.
I'm sorry.
I'm also having hearing issues.
Jesus, this job, they're cutting your hours, and they're just ripping your body to shreds, I say.
Well, I think the hearing is not only the robot and how loud it is. I always wear earbuds, and I always have podcasts playing in my ears, it's probably loud.
It's got to be. It's probably listening at the maximum value because of all the noise around
you. Yeah. And I'm in my 40s.
So you're probably developing tinnitus.
Yeah. I mean, I like a set of boobs. I'm not gonna lie.
I like a big fat case of double D tinnitus.
How are you?
Good. I'm still debating whether or not to take back my really expensive pair of boots that I bought.
No, you're not. You're going to keep them. It's the end of April. I don't even think they'll take them back now.
Oh man, it was a while ago.
I was talking to Tarmac John. We didn't talk. We didn't even mention him on the last episode because we had so much going on.
Right, he's really pulling his weight out there, I got to tell you.
You don't even think about him sometimes because he's doing all the work.
That's right. When you do your job so well, people wonder if you're doing your job at all. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It'd be like a silent in the night, kind of like a ninja at your job.
Right. On March 21st, me and him went out. It was like a month ago, but I forgot to talk about this.
Okay, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it was National Down Syndrome Day.
Okay.
And so I was like,
for new listeners, the guy on the tarmac, his name is Tarmac John. Sometimes we call him DSJ, Nacho John on occasion.
Yep.
But he's the guy with those glowing golden cones out on the tarmac directing us where to go. And you know what? Those are a lot of great adjectives about him. He also has Down syndrome. So what?
Yeah,
Who
no big
cares?
Well, his girlfriend broke up with him in the middle of March. So I said, well, let's, for National Down Syndrome Day, let me take him out and go around town and see. I said, what do you want to do?
Pun intended, you could be his wingman.
Ah, very good. And that's exactly what we did. I took him to the strip club.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yep, I took him to Club Cabaret.
How did that go?
He makes six figures.
He is rolling in the proverbial
So
dough.
in actuality, he kind of took me.
He's just nice to have some companionship, though. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially
yeah.
after a breakup.
Oh, yeah. And, I was like, these are not the kind of girls you want to have a relationship with.
This is just a fun night out.
This is a fun night out.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and he's like, I work 3 jobs. I'm a roadie for the Led Zeppelin tribute band.
Oh, okay.
He works at McDonald's washing the trays.
Washing.
And then on Mondays, he does all of our flight stuff. Like he checks the gas tank level.
Yep.
Checks the tire, goes over, kicks the tire.
Some occasions he will help us with our stretches. He will
Sure.
apply the
yeah.
much needed pressure to make sure we're getting all
Right,
the
like
stretch.
the basketball players before the games.
Exactly.
They're laying down. There's a guy. That's what John's doing.
And you know what? The two of us are. Maybe I speak for myself. I'm so invested in John doing his job here at the FCF airport that. Like, that's the world he lives in. But there are 6 other days in the week.
Sure.
And he's such a busy guy. The more I dig into what he does and what he's up to, he's got so much going on. But in my mind, he's just this dude doing a great job with those golden cones.
Yep, golden cones, grinding it out. And we did catch some flack from listeners regarding him. And I've sent you text messages about this, that some listeners are upset that he has Down syndrome.
Hey, talk to God.
Exactly.
You know what? Talk to God about that one.
To me, he does a great job. I feel safe with him out there. One day he was sick, and they had some other substitute guy out there. We about crashed.
And did he have Down syndrome? Nope. You know what? Honestly, if it were up to me, like, John is such a good guy, and he does his job so well, and he's so dependable. I wish everyone had Down syndrome.
Exactly. They'd be a lot happier.
I think so, and they'd probably be just as dependable as him.
So we went to the strip club. As you know, I don't drink.
Right.
So he wanted to go to the champagne room.
Oh, nice.
And so we went in the champagne room.
The two of you together?
Well, yeah. We went, and some girls, not just me and him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had a good time. We got home about 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Gee, that's a good night. That's a good night.
Yeah. And I tell you what, we talked about his relationship, and he talked about some of the things that bothered him about it. And as you know, she said it's either me or your jobs, and he was like, "It's all about the money."
Yeah, there's another girl around the corner.
Right.
Every corner I turn, there's another girl. But these jobs, this is his livelihood.
Yeah, and then when we were coming up from the captain's room, after we did our stretches.
Sure.
I was coming up, and he was washing the front of the airplane, the nose.
Yeah.
And he had headphones on, and but they weren't his headphones like that he wears to protect his hearing when he's when we're taking off.
Right. Two very different.
These were like Beats by Dre.
Yeah, because he can afford them.
Oh hell yeah! And I said, hey, what are you listening to? And he's like, Rihanna's work.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, and I was like, why are you listening to that song? And I didn't know you. I thought you were all. It was Led Zeppelin 24/7.
Right.
He's like, this is like my anthem when
Yeah.
I'm at work. This is work.
What a good guy.
Great guy.
Great guy. I don't know why people are why we're catching any flack for anything. I mean, talk to God if you want to eradicate Down syndrome. Start up your own cause. Talk to Tarmac John. I don't think he would receive that very well. He's proud of who he is, and we're proud of who he is.
Right, and I told him, I said, did you watch Crystal Cube? 'Cause sometimes he watches.
Sure. I know he listens from week to week.
And I thought this would be a perfect one because it's about genetics.
That ties in pretty damn well. And, let's high five that one. Tarmac John, it's kind of, what's my origin story? Where did I come from? Mm-hmm. I know I'm different from everyone else. How did I get that way? Maybe he learned a little something from the show, The Crystal Cube, that we're watching today. And if he did, he learned a heck of a lot more than I did.
You're darn tootin'. Sorry, the stewardess was.
Oh, I know. I can feel it.
The captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
You feel the heat from her hotness
The heat is on.
on the streets.
She's not amused. You did this to yourself, lady.
You said I do. I didn't put a cone to your head.
Evander Holyfield. Here's the real deal, Holyfield.
Oh yeah, my mom loves Evander Holyfield.
Blake and I are aeroplane pilots. We soar through the clouds with the greatest of ease. However, any adrenaline-inducing activity can lose its luster after a period of time. So what do? What do we do to pass our time while we're making aeronautical rounds? We watch pilots.
Watch them like there's no tomorrow.
And then, you know what? As far as we know, there may not be. But not just any pilots, only those that failed and aired only one episode. And then we record our thoughts and present them to you. We do it for you, our frequent flyers.
We do it for the people. We really, I mean, we're gaining nothing. Not a Zippo. Nothing in our lives is gaining from doing this show.
Some would argue we're losing.
Oh, big time. We're losing time with our families.
A.
We're losing money.
B. We're
losing lust time.
Lust? What is that now?
Well, me and the stewardess, I know her really well. Mm-hmm. When we're in the
she's presenting you with your teeth right now.
Yes, when we're in the captain's lounge, we tend to kind of go over there in the corner.
Oh, I know. I stay out of that corner. The carpet never seems to be dry. I don't know what that's about. I went over there once and I learned my lesson. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't go back.
Right.
That corner is yours. You've marked your territory.
Oh yeah.
With that said, what are we watching today? Today we wrap up the affluent 80s, our last show from the 1980s, with a trip across the pond to 1983's The Crystal Cube.
And is this the first British show we've watched? I'm wanting to say that it is.
I think so. I know there's been British people in other shows.
I think this is the first a BBC kind of thing.
Yeah, there's another one coming up. I think in the 90s we're going to try to hit that's British as well. But for now, I think this is let's lift our drinks.
Cha-ching. Oh, sorry.
No, wait, mine's made out of metal, and yours is made out of a ceramic, I believe. Different noises. 1983. Sally Ride became the first woman in space.
There's a woman in space?
Is she still there?
I thought the one that went up there got blown up. No,
they sent her first, and she receives other women that come up there. She was the first, and she remains there to this day.
She's there now?
Sally Ride is still in space. We're knocking on 40 years here. The computer mouse was invented in 1983. Everyone was showing off their swatches. And Karen Carpenter reversed ate herself to death. Oh, boy. That really struck a chord with you. The big Carpenter's fan, huh?
That was the funniest joke you've done in years.
Oh, my God.
I loved it.
Oh, my God. Did Molly hear that?
Did
you hear that joke?
She was too young. She doesn't remember who Carpenter was.
Okay. All right.
Or how she died.
Well, good.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. I hope Karen Carpenter is in heaven with John Dye and who was the other one? Some broad. Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett. I hope that she's up there eating a Big Mac.
A Big Mac?
Yes.
Oh, put some meat on those bones, Karen. Ooh. You like that, Molly?
Captain and Tennille? Captain and Tennille? That was a different band.
Captain Black and Tennille.
Carpenter, it was just the Carpenters.
Yeah, it was her and her brother.
It was her and her brother? I thought it was her and her husband.
Maybe that. It was maybe that. Some of those things, I wonder if the brothers and sisters aren't fooling around.
Oh, genetics.
It all comes back to a very shallow genetic pool. If Sally Ride had come back from space,
Sally Ride.
If she had ridden Sally Ridden, she would know the 3 requirements that we need in order for us to choose a program for our viewing.
And these are very important. There's 3 rules.
Mm-hmm. Rules of the road.
And a phantom.
And there's kind of a phantom dancing around. Would you be able to do it in the voice of Sally Ride? Now remember, you're in outer space.
Okay.
And space changes your voice. It usually makes you sound like a 41-year-old dude who's been podcasting for 9
Oh, really?
years.
Like this? Is Does it sound like this?
Is that your Sally Ride in space?
No, I was going to do it. I thought, yeah.
Is that your Sally Ride right there?
No.
Try it right now.
This is my Sally Ride.
That's very close to your diabetes voice. What is that? What's the
I don't
origins
know.
of that?
I put my Adam's apple as far back as I can, and it's like,
Do you think
it's the forming of my double chin.
Do you think Bruce Jenner says it the same way? Because I'm sure he's done something with his Adam's apple, right?
He would say, diabetes.
Diabetes?
Diabetes.
Molly, how does Blake say pretzel? Pretzel. Who knows where that came from?
You will sleep alone.
All right, Sally.
Okay, so first,
Yeah.
It has to be free.
Right.
2, it has to be available. We have to be able to find it
Yeah.
to watch it. And C, it has to be a pilot that did not make it to series, a failed pilot.
And then the Phantom.
Right now, this is the last of the Phantom. It had to have been from the 1980s century.
Sooner or later, we're going to catch up with ourselves. And then the Phantom's going to disappear, I think, because we're going to start dancing around to whatever we want at some point, or we'll come up with more.
We're going to
rules
freestyle. Eventually, we're going to freestyle. I mean, they did it in every Kid and Play movie.
Right, they always freestyle there, and look how well it worked out for them.
Breaking 1 and 2, they were freestyling like it was nobody's
Electric
business.
Boogaloo.
What about Eminem's movie, 8 Mile? Freestyling all over there.
And not only the rap scenes in 8 Mile, but the entire movie was freestyle.
Oh yeah, they just
like from the very beginning. At the very beginning, in the director's cut, Eminem looks at the camera and he says,
action.
Yeah, and then it's just a solid 2 hours of them freestyling. Mm-hmm. And boy, oh boy, when you let creative people do what they will,
amazing
masterpiece,
a masterpiece,
one of the greatest films in history.
Who's the girl that died in that one? What was her name?
Brittany Murphy. Also watching or listening to Couch Pilots in Heaven.
That's what we need to have. We need to have like how the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah,
we need to have the Angels of the Heaven table.
Couch Pilots in the outfield?
Yep, Couch Pilots in the outfield. We're going to go someday. We're going to do a live Couch Pilots outside, and just out from the corner are going to come all these people.
We should do like
John Dye, Farrah
Fawcett, Brittany Murphy, who hasn't really been in one, and then
Mason Reese.
Mason Reese will surely be dead by the time that comes out.
Oh God, I hope so.
We should have like a Couch Pilot seance where we summon all of these dead celebrities who we've talked about.
You know what I thought we should have done, and we didn't think about this, is when we were organizing this show, like after we did the 10 episodes for like the 80s, we should have done like an award ceremony. Like not Tonys. What are the TV ones?
The Emmys.
Emmys. We should have done Emmys. Like Couch Pilot Emmys or something.
Yeah, podcast Emmys. I think that's a great idea. And maybe we'll do that in the future. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe.
We'll see. So where can you find the Crystal Cube? You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots on iTunes or your favorite podcast app, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. I missed
Fuchsia.
one. Green was in there somewhere.
Fuchsia.
Yeah, these are all different colors. So many colors of the rainbow.
Black.
50,000 LED colored lights.
I can't wait.
And only one color should you be clicking on.
Only one. Not green.
No.
Not red. Blue.
Yeah. First of all, it's a primary color. Second of all, it's the color of my eyes and the color of the sky.
Right. Now,
the color of my balls.
If you find a yellow link next to a blue link, it's going to make a green link.
Don't be fooled.
No, just the blue.
Yeah, it's like one of those old Magic Eye posters where you look at it and you're like, oh, there's a dinosaur and a pterodactyl.
Never could see any of those things in those.
You never could?
Never could.
We're going to get there.
I can never do it.
Have
I tried? Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I think it's a lot like that. If you see a yellow link and a green link, or whatever the two colors is to make blue.
Yellow and blue make green. Red and...
I don't think that's right.
Yes, yellow and blue make green.
Okay, yes.
I was an art major.
That's right. Okay.
I was an art major. Before I got into flying, I was an art major.
Bottom line, blue links.
The Coca-Cola logo?
Love it.
I designed it.
Nice. Go to YouTube, search the Crystal Cube, and set the time for 30 minutes.
Oh, God. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please. apologize for the audio there.
That's fine. A spoof science program hosted by Jackie Meld. In each episode, a different topic of science is discussed. In the pilot, it was genetics. So I guess that's what happened on this show. This show is very British in nature. It's got a lot of things that maybe didn't translate to us. There's already a language barrier, even though we're speaking essentially the same language. It takes me a little bit to get in the mode of listening to all the accents and their slang and their references at the time were in the 1980s. But at its heart, this is a spoof show that is like a sketch comedy show because they go to different segments and they have different like flashbacks or it's essentially a British sketch comedy show from '83.
Yeah, and there is a such thing as British humor.
Absolutely,
and it is different.
Very dry.
It's very dry, and I like dry humor. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite things about you.
Thank you so much. My grandmother is British.
Really?
She is off the boat British. Yeah, she's got a vague accent.
Huh. Mm-hmm. But for me, I had a hard time. I had a hard time like knowing what was going on.
Yeah, and honestly, and we'll get to this a little bit more later, but the audio and visual were terrible on YouTube. Yeah. Why did I choose this for the show? I don't know.
You like to punish us.
Sloth, maybe. Interesting facts. The part of the program where we present you with the truth, nothing but the truth. Thank you, ma'am. You might have feelings. Some of these facts may conjure feelings within you. Personal opinions that are aside and separate from fact.
Right, they might grow out from your loins.
Right,
these feelings,
and never the twain shall meet. It's like the Ghostbusters crossing they say don't cross the streams. Cataclysmic events will occur if you cross the streams.
Right.
Do not cross your opinions with the facts. Is it okay to have facts about the opinions? Absolutely. But you keep it to yourself. You bury it deep down inside where it'll eventually become cancer.
Right. So you're hearing the podcast. It's coming through your ears, going into your brain. That's where the fact comes in.
Absolutely.
In your brain, it's going to hit the right side of your brain first.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's going to say, oh, that's a fact. Then the left side of your brain says, that's interesting.
That's where they process it, and all your creative juices are flowing. Right. It's trying to make sense of it.
Then it goes back down your vinal cortex.
Yeah.
Into your spine.
Right.
And it should just stay there.
Yeah. I mean, from there's so many different avenues from which your spine could let that information, let those feelings out.
Right.
But
from your fingertip, all the way from your fingertips, your toes, your rectum.
Hold it there. It's like clenching a fart.
Right.
It's tough, but do it for now because this is not the time or the place to let your opinions out.
Because we're not going to give you our opinions. That's not our job.
That's not our job to do that.
We did not become fighter pilots.
Right.
To give you our opinion.
If you want that kind of podcast, I'm sorry to say it, but go somewhere else.
There isn't one like that.
You're not going to find it. Maybe create your own. Maybe someone should create a sub-podcast taking into consideration all of the facts that we're presenting and then just giving their opinions about them. Maybe that's your show. Would I listen to it? Maybe.
Yeah.
I might listen to it, but
if
that's
it's
not
about us, we're going to listen to it.
Absolutely. We're extreme narcissists. Absolutely. Will I give you my opinions here? No.
Nope.
But I'll listen to your opinions about them on your own show separate from here. Why not?
Yeah, might as well.
What have we got to lose?
Time.
Yeah, probably a lot of time.
I lost a half hour of my life here, so.
No doubt.
Don't speak?
I know what you're saying.
So please stop explaining. Get on with the facts.
Yeah, don't tell me these facts because they hurt. A lot of famous people in this show. A lot of people I recognize. Yeah, Hugh Laurie, Dr. House.
Yeah, the House guy.
Dr. House MD.
Looked a lot younger, but yeah.
Well, he was, for sure. Did you ever watch House? I never did.
Yeah, never got into it. I don't like doctor shows. I like ER, Hill Street Blues. Never liked it.
Emma Thompson. Looking pretty good here. She's the main girl, Jackie Meld. Emma Thompson, you might know from like Nanny McPhee or the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, the blonde girl who was like the host.
The host of the faux talk show. Yeah. I thought she was attractive.
I couldn't tell. The goddamn quality was so blurry, I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Robbie Coltrane. He was.
Oh, man. He played some of the best blues, man.
No, okay. Actually, not that guy. Not Coltrane. You're talking. This is a British actor, but I know what you're saying.
Oh.
He was a great. I know. Yeah, maybe Google that real quick. Robbie Coltrane, he also in Harry Potter, I think he was the dude with the weird wonky eye, maybe. He had like a weird like monocle eyeball thing. And then he was also in Brave, the Disney movie Brave.
Never saw it.
He played Brave in that movie. And then he also played Goldeneye in Goldeneye. So
wow, so the movie was named after him.
Right.
Awesome.
And I think in that movie, Pierce Brosnan had to defeat GoldenEye. So he obviously did.
John Coltrane was a saxophonist.
John Coltrane, that's what it is.
He was known as Train. He was an American jazz saxophonist and composer.
Very good. Thank you very much for that fact.
You're welcome.
Borderline.
Just move along.
And finally, it also features Stephen Fry, who is gay.
Now, he was in that band with Glenn Fry.
He was, R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Glenn Fry. Yeah, Stephen Fry, notorious for... he was in the original lineup of the Eagles. Again, also notoriously, that band, just a lot of infighting.
Oh, it's amazing, all the bands that break up.
Yeah.
Because of fighting. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the statistics show that 50% of all bands get divorced.
Is that true now?
Mm-hmm.
That's so sad. You look back in the 1950s, it was never like that.
No. You know why? Because women knew their place. They just shut the hell up. They did the dishes. They had a hot-cooked meal on the table.
Now, see, I don't agree with any of that. That's beyond me. I think women should have equal rights to men, should get paid, at least 95 cents on the dollar to men.
Sure.
Well, at least 95 cents.
But the problem is they go and they have jobs.
Right.
And then they come home and they're too tired to do the stuff that they're supposed to do.
What stuff are they supposed to do?
Make love to their husbands. Give them sexual pleasure at all times. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting.
No, it's all right. Okay. Well, you're getting a nice massage.
It's good.
Maybe I should say some derogatory things about women to get a massage.
Yeah. Say something horrible about women. My wife will come and rub on you.
Dumb vagina.
Never met a smart vagina. Never once.
Jeez. Oh, no. Now she's pulling your hair. I can't wait till I'm married.
I love my wife. I really do.
The Crystal Cube was a mockumentary television pilot that broadcast on July 7th, 1983 on the BBC Two at 10:10 p.m. What is that?
I think the BBC, they did that. They would have between 10 to 10:10, they would have BBC stuff, government, and all their commercials would be in a block.
Really?
That's a fact.
You're knowledgeable. The pilot was one of Fry and Laurie's first television appearances and the first show they had written themselves. However, the BBC chose not to take it to a full series, and Fry and Laurie did not get a chance to make their own program for the BBC until 1989 when they produced their first full series of one of more conventional sketch show, A Bit of Fry and Laurie, after that pilot in 1987.
Were they a couple or just writing couple, comedy duo?
Well, Stephen Fry, Glenn Fry's brother, definitely a gay dude. Hugh Laurie, I think a prerequisite for being British is you got to be a little gay. So were they a couple? Maybe. I mean, it worked for Wham for a while, right?
Sure.
I mean, some of the best songs that that George Michael ever had was while he was banging Mr. Wham.
Yeah, and then Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Oh, gay.
Amazing.
What's my favorite song by them? I'm trying to think of some of Hall & Oates. Man-Eater. It's not great. It's okay.
Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater.
Yeah. Anyway. Designed by the BBC to provide a pilot for Fry and Laurie after working on the ITV comedy series Al Fresco. What a pretentious name. We're beginning to be seen as a double act. The show involves several members of the Al Fresco cast, such as Emma Thompson, and Robbie Coltrane. The BBC were not expecting that the show Fry and Laurie made would combine elements of science fiction and mockumentary, and as a result, the pilot was not commissioned in a series. Fry and Laurie did make other appearances on BBC comedy shows such as The Young Ones and Blackadder, which are both kind of legendary BBC shows. Blackadder, you know what's so funny? Blackadder, I think it had 12 episodes, and I don't get it. How can you make 12 episodes something? And I think The Office, the British version of The Office, and these are legendary shows, and they did it in 12 episodes. How?
But over in Britain, that's the way it is. They do these things, and then it's done. And I think that's what helps make them so memorable.
They just make each episode really good.
Well, they leave you wanting more.
They don't overstay their welcome.
Right. Like with Alf.
Yeah, Alf was in for 5 seasons, 100 episodes.
Right, but if you would have just left it at 2 seasons or 12 episodes, blown the roof off.
Oh, you're saying that Alf didn't leave us wanting more. We got all the Alf we could handle?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if I saw what was that? What was the dad's name? You had the Achmonic.
Dave?
You had the Achmonics next door.
Yeah, Dave. I don't remember his. Come on, Dave.
That's a terrible Alf. What is that?
Wait.
As much as he loved cats, did he ever eat a cat?
No,
Did he ever?
It was the hunt. Just like men, it's all about the hunt.
Let's break down the pilot and let's make this quick because this show it hurts. And it's not like, John Mellencamp, every day of his life, used to say, "Come on, baby, make it hurt so good." That is not the kind of feeling I had from watching this. Did it hurt? Yes. Was it so good?
Do you remember the John Mellencamp? It was actually a John Cougar song.
Okay.
And it was very short. It was, and I'll sing the whole thing to you.
ROCK in the USA?
No. My baby is a cry baby. She sits on my lap and balls. My baby is a top. Wait. My baby is a top mechanic. She works with my nuts and tools. She'll do it. She go down. That's the song.
No, I am not familiar with that John Cougar Mellencamp.
It was a John Cougar. That was a John Cougar.
She sits on my lap and balls?
Mm-hmm. My baby is a cry baby. She sits on my lap and balls. My baby is a top mechanic. She works with my nuts and tools. She'll do. She go down. That's it. That's the song.
I'm sure his version of it is great. Your version of it is already better than the Crystal Cube.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. If I shat my pants, it would be better than this.
The show opens black and white. It says "Tomorrow, USA, 1961."
61.
We don't know what any of that means necessarily.
Yeah, because the beginning of it is just an LED font of the Crystal Cube.
Yeah, there's like an outline of a cube, and it's kind of rotating, and it's got all these a rainbow of colors kind of moving around. It's pretty high tech stuff for the time. But they open up in this black and white, kind of some sort of space tunnel future world,
like a bomb shelter kind of thing or something.
Yeah, and they have people kind of running through it. And there's like all these kind of foot soldiers coming after them, seemingly. And then they stop and they start talking about the Bible, but they call it the Bibble. And they start talking about they don't understand the concept of love, but they call it Louvre.
And then they have the quintessential hard, abrasive kiss.
Really hard kiss, for sure. It's supposed to be funny. It is not funny.
No.
It's not funny.
No, because when they were talking about the Bibble,
yeah.
At first I wrote it down,
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe they'll explain the Bibble later. I didn't even realize it until they got out of the tunnel that they were talking about the Bible.
They get out of the tunnel, and then a white caped man with a big white beard comes to them. His name is Nicholas, and they start talking about being out in this world, getting fresh air and adapting.
Like, we should go back in.
Yeah, they're like, well, no, I think we're gonna go back inside. And then they're like, can you tell us what love is? And then like the guy kisses Dr. House.
Yeah, it was.
And it's like, oh, and back then it was like, the guy kissing a guy, hilarious, right?
Well, yeah.
What? You hearing all the noise?
Yeah, it was like maybe there's a fight going on in the back of the plane.
Did the mics pick that up, you think?
I don't know, but it kind of shook. Maybe it was just turbulence.
Well, there's some big turbulence coming.
Yeah, I was going to say the computer is already telling us to get to there. But
okay, so then it cuts to like a talk show about science.
Yeah, it reminded me of Sally Jesse Raphael show. The background and stuff.
Yeah, there's a live audience there. Experts then analyze like about society's current state and how it like relates to the movie Tomorrow. And apparently that's what we're watching. We're watching an excerpt from a movie called Tomorrow, which is obviously a spoof of like Logan's Run or something.
Right, but we didn't know that. Like we don't know what's going on.
It just thrusts us right into this. Then it cuts to the past and it talks about like some scientist and how he like came up with genetics or the idea of genetics or gammas or something, and how a woman actually kind of made the scientific breakthrough and he stole it from her.
Yeah, it was like an 1872 scientist, and his maid rattles off a bunch of scientific stuff that ends up being explaining genetics.
Yeah, it's like accurate, and she kind of like throws it off like, oh, this is no big deal. Of course, this is how it is. And
then so there's already like from the beginning there's laugh track, and it's to prompt me that there's a joke. Is that what it's? Is it that? I mean, I know you hate the laugh track,
I do hate the laugh track. The audio and visual quality are bad, and it's a culmination of a lot of crap things. Audio and visual bad. Comedy of the time, British, their references, their slang. It all culminates into, why did I choose this pilot? It met the requirements, thankfully.
That's why you chose it.
And then it cuts back to the talk show, and they talk about genetics through like demonstrations, and the demonstrations are all like nonsensical and stupid, and the audience loves it. Yeah. I don't know. You can, please feel free to elaborate on any of this. I was so lost on a lot of this stuff, and it was just a lot of talking and going back and forth between these hosts of the show, and it was not entertaining at all.
And to be honest with you, like I didn't really write anything down that made any sense.
Right, I felt the same way
until like when they had when they were talking about
like creating a man in a lab.
Yeah, creating, and it was Gareth.
Yeah.
And the egg-shaped test.
Yeah, they did this. They had this lab-created man.
The Gamma 0001.
Yeah, that's right.
Also known as Gareth.
And they pull a volunteer from the crowd. And
Michael.
Yep, and they make the two compete in a game.
Yeah, they need to separate eggs by shape.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They say egg-shaped. Because eggs are shaped a certain way. Why are we separating them by shape when the shape is described in the name itself?
I don't know. I don't know anything that's going on.
So they let these guys compete in this little game, and then they go over to a new guest, and it's a member of the clergy, and then another guest with like hidden video talking about cloning a Russian army of supermen or something.
Yeah. First they had the bishop come out.
He's kind of an older dude.
Yeah, and he was talking about it was just. And then they had the journalist come out, and he's like...
That's Robbie Coltrane.
Right, and he had footage. It was just footage of a guy walking on the street.
Yeah, it was really, again, nonsensical footage. It didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything. And then he said, oh, it was a Russian spy guy, and they were... I
just imagine...
Can we just go to where we say turbulence?
Stephen Fry... Emma Thompson, Robbie Coltrane, Dr. House. I can imagine them backstage just getting high, laughing their asses off at this stuff, and it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It doesn't add up to anything.
And I'm fine with that kind of comedy. Like
I like intelligent, absurdist comedy, but please keep in mind the word comedy is in there.
Right. And I think Your pilot episode is a comedy, like a spoof of a talk show about genetics.
It's a bad setup to begin with.
Don't try. British people are always trying to act smarter than us.
They fooled me. I thought they're smarter than us.
No, they're not. They are not. Our country is bigger than theirs.
That makes If we've learned anything, it's the bigger the country, the smarter the country.
Exactly.
Russia, the smartest country in the world.
Oh, by far. We need to be scared of them. We really do. Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir expensive boot.
And I'm sorry. We're doing a disservice to our listeners, to people on this flight. We're doing a disservice. But you know what? We've watched crap. I watched an hour and a half of Cro-Magnon men just walking around.
You're never going to let me live that down.
No, I'm stating a fact.
Okay. Fact. You did it.
I could not sit through 29 minutes of this. I quit taking notes. We have a lot of the donations that get sent to us.
Yeah.
We use it to buy pens and notepads. You use a spiral notebook. I use a legal pad.
I have got a king's ransom worth of pens thanks to our listeners.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, listeners. I didn't use them. Yeah. I quit using them. The last thing I wrote down was throws egg, screams, egg on head, then hits.
Mike gets hit in the head. They go back to the competition, and Mike gets hit in the head with an egg. They're trying to prove a point, but it's a stupid point. And then they go back to Gareth, and he's like in the audience, and I don't know what happens next. Everything breaks down, and it's awful. I'm with you. The last, seriously, probably 6 to 8 minutes of the show, and again, it was only about 28, 29 minutes. The last 6 to 8 minutes, I just stopped. I could not. Nothing was happening. There was no coherent story. Again, the audio and the visual was bad enough to where I couldn't really understand what they're saying. And even if I could, I don't think I would be interested.
No, it wasn't It wasn't funny.
You said before I started watching it. You sent me a text. Crystal Cube, -1. That's not even a part of our scale.
I was making a new part of our scale.
Which character would that be? This Helen's sister?
She was cute. Little redhead, right?
Yeah.
She's not fuck her.
Yeah.
But and maybe, how this is our first dip into, like I said, British comedy.
Right.
It was on the BBC. I'm curious as to how the BBC handles these things. The BBC is government funded, right?
I think so. I think it's very similar to how the Canadians run theirs, yeah.
So there's only so much money to go around. So you'd think that they would be like, we need to see what you're going to make before you make it.
I would be outraged.
Somebody had to hand them a piece of paper. They didn't just come up with this stuff and then willy-nilly. And they had to order the eggs, right?
Eggs just don't appear. Whoops.
Do you know why there's one rooster in a hen house?
Because he's cock of the walk.
Do you know why they have one rooster and not like why do they not have 5 roosters for 5 hens?
Well, I gave you my answer. I assume it's wrong though.
They don't want the rooster to become complacent with the same partner.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And they will.
And they will.
Okay.
It's just like with humans. Eventually,
Interesting.
It gets old and tiresome, and they don't want to do it. And so then when you're excited about sex, or when the rooster's excited about sex, he's going to
Get a raging meta milk boner.
He's going to ejaculate faster.
Yeah.
The more excited you are, the faster you're going to ejaculate.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're the same chick every time,
Yeah. Or chicken.
or chicken, eventually,
Ho hum.
ho hum. And maybe that's what happened to us here. Maybe we looked at the 1980s. We had some interesting stuff. The last one came up. We were just like, ho hum.
Yeah, maybe the last one, we were just like, you know what? Let's fill this 10th spot. Let's watch this. And then, ugh.
You know what? Again, I feel like we let the listeners down. I'm going to go ahead and give every one of our listeners 4,000 frequent flyer points.
Wow.
Hold on.
Very generous. Wow, he did. I didn't realize there was even a program on the pachinko machine.
Oh, I get. Yeah, if I just check all,
click. Okay, check all. Yes, that makes sense to me. Wow, what?
So if this is the first time you're listening to the show, I'm sorry. Go back and listen to some other ones.
Yeah.
Really. Go back and listen to some other ones because you're not getting the full effect of our show. I can't even concentrate. I can't even focus. I've checked out of this show.
So often people say to me, who is the most focused person you know? And I say, without hesitation, it's Blake Clayton. It's Captain Philip Rester.
Right on you.
But this show has completely derailed your mental capacity. And that, to me, deserving of a -1 if it even exists.
It was dumb. It was dumb. It wasn't dumb. It wasn't dumb funny.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Will Ferrell dumb funny.
Speaking of Will Ferrell, I like Saturday Night Live quite a bit. Hugh Laurie hosted it before, and he was good on it. Mm-hmm. And I think he was pretty good on House too. I always heard good things about him. So I think he's capable of good things. And Robbie Coltrane, an actor who's been in a million
best
things.
best
saxophone player in town. Emma Thompson, beautiful woman. She's been in a lot of great things. Stephen Fry, really gay. But that doesn't always mean that you're going to have a good show.
Maybe this is one of those things, like the first time you have sex.
Right, I remember that.
It's horrible. You don't do a good job.
I did a good job.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I lasted for a while my first time. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay.
I did a good job. I'm the exception that proves the rule.
You're what Bernie Sanders calls the 1% of the 1%. But in actuality, you fumble through it. And maybe they were just fumbling through. Maybe they're just really young kids who got the chance to make something and wanted to go for it.
A little hashish money.
Yeah, and they wanted to go like, oh, let's just blow people's mind. You didn't blow anybody's mind.
That's right. Yeah, like
hey, here's an idea, Jason.
Yeah.
We get an email at couchpilotspodcast at gmail.com.
Right.
We get an email and it says, Jason and Blake, you guys are creative, funny.
Yeah. Handsome.
I don't think I need to say that because that's obvious.
Well hung.
Well,
you were expensive boots.
Great tattoos.
Sweet tats.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give you 6 months.
Yep.
Write a pilot script.
Yep.
For a comedy. about genetics. We're going to write her back and say, no.
I say, hey, you know what? Give me 6 years. Give me 60 years. You're not going to get anything good out of this.
I was 8 years old when this was on.
Yeah.
I knew more about genetics at that time than I did when I watched this.
You know what you need to know? All you need to know about genetics? Double helix. That's all I need to know.
Oh, that's the
deoxyribonucleic acid.
I thought that was the thing that black people had on their ankles made them run faster.
The double helix?
Yeah.
Honestly, I might be. I was just shooting from the hip.
Why don't you tell me what you think it is?
Double helix is like a ladder that they twist, and then sometimes you can like replace part of the DNA with frog DNA to create dinosaurs. Because they have very similar DNA, but the only problem is they're like frogs can switch gender as needed to reproduce, so you might have like unexpected dinosaur babies.
That's weird.
I'm not a geneticist, but I know some things.
I love that band. It was amazing. It always amazes me about let's take
Easy Lover, my favorite song by geneticists.
Right.
Phil Collins he can drum and sing just like Neil Peart.
Exactly. But the other thing about it is just like Adele, they have these thick accents. Phil Collins,
right?
Thick accent. Elton John, thick accent.
Open your mouth, they disappear.
Start singing,
gone.
What
country from? I don't know. Take any guess.
Yep.
Who knows? Can't narrow it down. But for my money, Easy Lover by geneticists, about the best you're going to do.
Right.
Do you like Easy Lover?
I'm an easy lover.
Easy
lover. To get a hold on you, you're feeling. That song,
like no other.
This song makes this show look like a big pile of turds.
Right. Yeah. If someone were to take the Crystal Cube and put it up to the geneticist classic Easy Lover, no contest.
Yeah.
No contest.
Let's get a promo.
Let's listen to a promo. We gotta get. I don't think Low Blow's on here. We gotta get Low Blow out of here because I love those guys.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Let's listen to a one from Drunken Lullabies.
Okay.
Do you like craft beer? Do you like music? If you don't like either of those, I hope you at least like laughing. And if I've still got your attention, the reason I'm asking is this. I want you to check out my upcoming podcast called Drunken Lullabies. I'm joined by my co-host Blake Szymanski and a rotating cast of characters. We do beer reviews, play music by bands we think you need to know, make you laugh a lot, and hopefully get you tipsy right along with us. We'll be bringing you a new episode every Sunday, and we hope you'll close your weekends out with us at Drunken Lullabies. We'll educate you on new beers to try, new albums to hear, and make you laugh at non-stop pop culture references and juvenile behavior, which is what you've come to expect from the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse. Look us up at fcfnetwork.com. We'll see you on the Sabbath. Cheers.
Sabbath, bloody Sabbath. Another geneticist classic, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Yep. And that is a band that I wish would have never got divorced.
That's a band that I wish Dustin would have had on the show and interviewed before they got divorced.
Black Sabbath?
Yeah. The geneticists.
Geneticists.
First, you got Peter Gabriel. Boom. Sledgehammer. Then you got Phil Collins. Boom. Tarzan. And
then they had the tall bass player who I don't think did anything.
I think he was 7'1" if he was a foot. Isn't that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Great. I think Dustin said it best. You like craft beer? You like funny, good conversation?
Like indie music?
Yeah. Check out Drunken Lullabies. Are there other podcasts out there like it? I think bits and pieces, but not all together like that. They're the only ones out there giving you awesome music by cool bands you probably haven't heard of. They do great interviews with bands. They interview breweries. They even have a sponsor right now that is paying them to do the podcast. What the hell is that about?
Paying you to drink beer.
Good God, they have.
And you know what? I don't drink, and I haven't drank in 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I still listen to the show because of the banter.
Right, you love banter, and then do you like the music?
Yeah, I have really enjoyed the music, and I'm a music snob, but I've enjoyed 90% of the music. The one thing I don't like about that show is there's a guy on there named Blake. First of all, get your own name, right? Am I right?
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to take credit for saying that I came up with Beermansky. I think I came up with it when he was on IBWIP.
And that's fine. Beer Mansky's fine. Just don't call yourself Blake.
Yeah, there's only
there's you can't have more than one Blake in FCF Network.
Can you imagine the gall of that guy?
I know.
If you like, he's like, oh, my name's Blake. First of all, he's like 10 years younger than you.
Right.
He's a little baby.
Yeah.
And then he's
He
like,
doesn't have hair on his balls.
no, okay. That's another thing about that guy. No hair on his balls. Piss me off. But can you imagine if he started calling himself the podcasting god? Can you imagine that?
Well,
my God.
I mean, when we steal taglines
Yeah.
from other shows,
Right.
it's not other shows in the same network.
No. We won't steal from each other.
No.
No, we
It's
rob
like-
from
it's
the
a
rich and
rob-
give to the poor.
Right, not rob from the poor to give to the rich because they're richer than we are. Their show is richer than us.
If they have made 1 cent on Drunken Lullabies, then they are richer than us.
And they have.
And they have.
We can't disclose how much.
But there's a certain amount of money.
Right.
It's more than a penny.
3 figures.
It is. What'd you just say?
3 figures.
Okay.
3 figures. That's no, but
Is that a craft beer company?
all right. So the
Three
guy's
Fingers
married,
Beer?
right? He was lucky enough to get somebody to marry him.
Right? Probably based off of that name he stole from you.
Blake.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Don't use a tagline that we stole from somebody else.
Right. That's for us to use.
Right. Exactly.
That's for us to steal.
Come on, come up with your own stuff. You're sitting around there drinking beer every day.
Does he have a wife? Sure. That doesn't give him permission to use that phrase.
Right, exactly. And I'm not gonna say the phrase because
No.
I'm not gonna because then he's gonna come back and hey, you guys, you took my phrase from me. That's my wife.
We forgot to mention that John Travolta's real name is Blake Szymanski.
It's a good Travolta.
Check out Drunken Lullabies on the
It's
FCF
great. It's a
Network.
great show.
It is a great show. A lot of fun stuff. I don't know if I'm in the running or not, but I think I've been on, I want to say 4 episodes of Drunken
Nice.
Lullabies. And I like being on the show because I am not a fan of craft beer. I don't like beer at all. So I like going on there and trying all these. I'm getting a lot of exposure to
Sure,
it.
definitely.
And actually, the last one I was on the FCF Network Marathon, the field day thing.
And you had a citrus or a sour or something.
I had a sour that was actually not bad.
Nice.
It tasted so wildly different from everything else we had tried that I actually enjoyed it. It was almost kind of like a liquid version of like a sour candy.
Oh, nice.
It was good. And then the milk stout at the end was good too, but I couldn't finish it because I was getting very drunk.
You drink all day.
I drank.
You consistently drink a whole day.
I drank nothing but alcohol that day.
That's nice.
And I think I left your house at 3:30 in the morning, and then with the time jump, it was 4:30 in the morning, and I got home just before 5 a.m.
Nice.
High five that one. All right, that's enough of Drunken Lullabies.
Yeah.
Like you guys need it.
Yeah, come on. You guys should be talking 15 minutes about us.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
But I will shank a motherfucker.
Oh, geez.
If he uses it after April 25th, if he uses that phrase again, I will shank a motherfucker.
Yeah.
He can say the wife, but he can't say my wife.
Yeah.
I stole that from 3 other people. I'm the 3rd generation thief of that. He's trying to be the 4th.
Unbelievable. The gall. The unmitigated gall.
Hey, Beer Mansky, spend the time to write comedy.
Yeah. Spend the time to write and steal comedy. The Crystal Cube is terrible.
It's awful.
There's a million reasons why it didn't work. One, it's supposed to be a spoof mockumentary. Those things mean funny. This is not funny.
No.
Again, is there a bit of a culture difference when I'm watching it? Sure. But I enjoy The Office. Granted, that's only about 15 years old versus, this being 30-plus years old. But still, I can appreciate and enjoy British humor. Although I'm not a Monty Python fan. I know that
Really?
that would get me killed in some circles to say
Yeah.
that. But this is just not funny. It is so dry. It's not funny. These are young versions of people who go on to do great things.
Sure.
But this is some of their first work.
It was probably like
Green.
watching Tom Petty pick up the guitar for the first time.
Not-
It wasn't good.
Not much to listen to then.
But now,
1961 rolls around, nothing to listen to.
but now he's an icon. He probably couldn't even do 3 chords. And that's what's wrong with the show. These guys and gals all became super, super famous, very talented people, but they're picking up a guitar for the first time.
Yeah, and that's metaphorically, but actually, no guitars in the show. To me,
There wasn't.
no.
Oh.
I wish there were.
A harp. I would have liked a harp.
Yeah, or a harpoon.
Or a saxophone.
Yeah, I would take one. I'm a baritone sax guy. What do you like?
Alto.
Yeah,
Alto
altos.
sax.
That's a good one.
That's me. I mean, you look at me, you look at alto. You You look at me, you see Alto sax.
Alpo dog food. You know?
It's all right with some water.
What would you do to improve this? Oh, you get make that gravy stew, right, with the Alpo in the water.
Did we do the turbulence button?
I did it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll hit it again.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
It's a testament to how much turbulence has actually had.
Right. Maybe that's what I was trying to signify.
Well, how would you improve this?
Stick with one thing. Either do a spoof about the bunker, 1961 bunker show.
Bumper shoot.
Do that all the way through, or do the whole 1872 scientist thing. Do that all the way through, or do a talk show like Sally Jesse Raphael about genetics all the way through. Don't confuse me.
Yeah, I think Monty Python was in, I think, the 70s, and obviously this is early 80s. I'm sure these guys were influenced to a degree by it. And I can respect the fact they were trying to do something different, but it just wasn't good.
No.
I don't know. I think I would have appreciated if it was just a straight sketch show,
right?
And every sketch had a beginning, a middle, and an end,
right?
That to some degree made sense. I do like absurdist humor, but none of this made sense, and it was one long like yawn, like when's this thing gonna end?
Right. It was slow moving too. I'm sorry. I don't like to not say something, not at least one nice thing.
Well, we gone and said it. Let's see what the critics had to say about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
IMDb 7.1, way high, if you ask me.
That's just all British people, or fans of House.
That's right.
That's all that was.
An IMDb is increasingly not reliable to me. I think you need 10 scores or better on IMDb to get rated at all, to show an average rating. These are people searching this out because they love obscure British humor, and so that's why it's got a high score. Rotten Tomatoes, no score. Not surprised. Critic reviews.
It's such a Rotten Tomato. There's no score.
It's a Rotten Tomato in and of itself. Critic reviews. Graham Williamson, he gives it 3.5 stars out of 5. It's very funny, and I might have found it even funnier if I were able to view it on anything other than an 18th generation YouTube bootleg so blurry it made me feel like my eyes were suffering from some kind of localized drunkenness. I like the joke about Fry's 19th century genetics pioneer who grew up in a humble working class home, which his parents built for him in the grounds of their mansion. Graham Wilson, you have no clout with me. You have blown any kind of...
He's British. His name's Graham. Graham Parsons is the only person I know in the United States named Graham. That's not British.
Graham Parsons is not?
No, he's not British.
Okay.
He's dead, R.I.P.
Israel did 9/11 says, sorry, but this is random, bizarre, weird, obscure, and simply not very funny. Too obscure by half. Israel did 9/11. To me, Israel did 9/11 has a better review than Graham Williams.
Right, exactly.
Mark Long says, reminds me a lot of Logan's Run, which at the beginning was supposed to. It was a spoof on that. Ken131 says, thanks for posting this. The generation loss on this tape is tragic. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And Paul Emery says, thanks. This is great.
Graham Parsons was from Florida.
Is that what you're looking up right now?
Winter Haven, Florida.
Good to know. Please put a link to where you're finding that in the show notes. Make it a blue link.
I will. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's one of those things, like, that's what happened when I watched this. Like, I completely lost, like...
Someone like me that you love and respect, I can't even hold your attention when talking about the crystal cube.
I'm sorry.
Now. No, it's okay.
I'm sure everybody's already turned off this podcast.
I would.
It's probably just me and you. I'll just put crickets. I'm just going to put cricket sound effects in the background of this.
That's fine with me. It'd be a better show than the crystal cube.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Tarmac John must have put those new D batteries because that thing is bright.
Yeah, I'm glad he's putting them to use. But like I said, I didn't know he was making six figures before I got him.
Right, exactly.
That whole pillowcase full.
He kind of bamboozled you.
And so it goes. You know, how do you become rich like Tarmac John? You're smart with your money.
Exactly. Look at Donald Trump.
And he's going to, yeah, exactly. You think Donald Trump buys his own D batteries?
Not.
Hell no. That's how you lose money. You get people to bring you D batteries on a silver platter. That's how you win.
Right.
Time for us to score it. What do you say, Philip?
Is it possible to give it a 0? Is it possible? We've never had this situation. Do I have to give it a 1? Or can I give it a 0?
I think by the laws of this podcast, you would have to assign a character to a 0. Is there another character that we've not mentioned? I mean, obviously there are, but are there some even worse than Roy Biggins?
He was awful.
And think about this. Is it worse than the Tribe? Was this worse than the
Tribe?
Tribe?
Yes, it was worse than the Tribe. This was worse than the Tribe. At least I followed what was going on with the Tribe. I watched it for an hour and a half.
We found a new bottom today.
Yes, this. I'm giving it a crystal cube. A crystal cube is a 0. A cube is a 0. I'm giving it a 0. You cannot deny me that.
I'm
Don't deny me a 0.
I'm not going to take that away from you at all. I hope that in time you will be able to find a character worse than Roy Biggins.
I can, but not right on the spot.
That's fine. I said in time. I'm going to give you apparently that time right now. I talk about the character. I didn't see the Tribe. Based on your description, I gave it a 1, and to me, that's the bottom. I'm going to have to give it a 1. It's real. If I can't even finish the show, that speaks volumes about what we're viewing. And again, did the audio and visual quality of the content come into play? Yeah, a little bit. But
we don't rate it against that.
You're right.
We usually say, "Hey,
everything was so bad. It was just everything just piling on top of each other. Terrible." I'm giving it a 1. It's a Roy Biggins. That's who I can tell you my character is. I know you're kind of perusing who you think your character would align with a 0. What do you have to say?
I'm going to give it a Davis Lynch.
David Lynch, the creator of Twin Peaks.
No.
Very good. Do you know what you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the cast. I'm trying to... You know what? I take it back. Bunny Mathers.
What about the guy who replaced Lowell? He sucked, right? He was only around for like a season and a half before he just finally went back into the mechanics room and they never had him on again. That guy sucked, didn't he? You know what I'm talking about? Buzz? I think his name was like Buzz or something.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna give it a Fisherman Tom. Fisherman Tom was in 3 episodes in 1992.
And he was a bad character?
He's an idiot. I don't know. I'm just going through all these people that were on less than 1 episode. Okay. I'm giving it a 0. I don't care. Mark the Waiter. I'll give it a Mark the Waiter.
Mark the Waiter from Wings. You know, Mark the Waiter from Wings. All right. Well, that's it. You're obviously very upset, very worked up about this show, and as well you should be. I will be the ever constant, even-keeled one who will move us on to the next.
Well, I don't want you like 4 episodes from now yell at me. Did you know Cliff Clavin was in 1 episode?
I'm not even sure.
What is that? Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
From Cheers. He was on the Wings?
The character Cliff Clavin was in 1 episode of The Wings.
Terrible. Crossovers are for garbage. That's it for me. I don't want to hear any more. You're pulling up stuff and you're about ready to say, I don't want to hear any more about it.
Can I give it a 0?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. First ever, 0.
That's it for the Crystal Cube. We're done with that.
This guy's name was Sam Pancake. His last name, the actor named Sam Pancake.
What am I supposed to do with that information?
I don't. He's cross-eyed. I don't know.
He's cross-eyed?
If you're going to be an actor, change your last name, not Pancake.
You know, if you're cross-eyed, I think Pancake is perfect.
I'm sorry. I've derailed and you're frustrated.
No, I just want to wrap this thing up because I'm squirming in my seat over here. The Crystal Cube was so bad.
Let's get to the 90s. I just want to go to the 90s.
I don't know if this next one's going to be much better. I haven't seen it yet, but that's it for the Crystal Cube, but we're not done yet. Please join us next time when we watch the pilot episode dipping into the 1990s.
Yes.
The pilot episode of Shangri-La Plaza. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Macho Ira and Sensitive George are 2 polar opposite brothers who own an auto repair shop in Southern California. Both men quickly fall for Amy, a beautiful widow who has inherited the local donut shop previously owned by her no-good estranged husband. I believe this is a musical.
I love it. I love it already.
Which I think is our first musical, right?
Yeah.
You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube and watch Shangri-La Plaza in 3 hot parts.
I love you, man. I love you a lot, and this is you pick them because of the criteria. You don't pick them out of personal preferences.
This is a great spot for us to turn to each other and say, I love you, because what an atrocity, what a traumatic experience we both just went through, and to be able to look at each other and say, hey, you know what? We came out the other side. We're okay. I love you. I think that's very important.
I love you, man. It's one of those things, like in a relationship, you have traumatic experiences, and you have trials and tribulations. Mm-hmm. And us doing Couch Pilots is like a marriage.
Yeah, it is.
And right now, our car got repoed.
Rocky times.
But you know what? We'll get through this.
We're heading into the 1990s. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some of these episodes, I kind of had to struggle to find something that met the criteria. The 1990s is a cavalcade, a treasure trove of awful pilots, and I'm genuinely excited to meet up with you again and talk about failed pilots.
This is probably a good point to tell the listeners, hey, we've got a bunch of other episodes. This is the first one you listen to. Check out some of the other episodes.
Yeah, so at this point we have 21 episodes under our belt, 10 for each season, and then we had a pilot episode. We just kind of shot the shit about what the show's
that would be a good one to start at.
Yeah, start at the beginning.
Yeah, check out our pilot.
Yeah, check out our pilot. Work your way through.
And 20 years from now, there's going to be a podcast about pilot podcasts.
Yeah.
And they're going to do this one, and then, you know what? They're going to give us 7s.
7s across the board. How could they give us anything else?
Anything less than the best is a felony. You can love it
Agreed.
or leave it.
How could he come off as so hardcore and his last name be Van Winkle? That is upsetting. Contact us. couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Go to fcfnetwork.com. Check out all the shows on the network. Follow us on Twitter. We're Couch Pilots Pod. Go to our Facebook page. A lot of different ways to interact with us. A lot of different ways to rack up those frequent flyer miles. You want some surprise prizes? You bet you do.
If you're the first time you listen, you got 4,000 already.
Yeah. Today's pilot was so unbelievably bad that we've gone ahead and gifted you 4,000 free gratis frequent flyer points. You're not going to get. You think you're going to listen to drunken lullabies? They're going to give you frequent flyer points?
No, they've never given anybody a frequent drink or free. They've never even given anybody a free drink.
I would like a frequent drink from them. Hey, you want to listen to Mark Maron's WTF? You think he's handing out frequent flyer points?
He's not giving you anything.
He's talking about his dumb cats. I don't want to hear about that.
Boomer's dead. Get it. Mark. Boomer's dead.
Yeah. We know that's the name of your production company. We
R.I.P.
know you think that's your...
and I love Mark Maron.
Your battle cry.
I listened to him today. I love the guy.
I love him. I love Mark Maron. But screw you for not handing out frequent flyer points.
Yeah, frequent flyer points is all about.
These people who listen to you, Mark, it's got to add up to something, buddy. Right now, bupkis. Oh, my God. This pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Buenos dias, señoritas. Muchas
On behalf of
gracias.
Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.